And welcome into the Ultimate Soccer Show pre-game. Wrexham taking on Tranmere. Welcome back, Ultimate Soccer Show family, and welcome in if it's your first time. If it's your first time, stick around to the end because we've got a story about the soccer Rainman. It's a real true story, and it might well interest you because I like to tell stories at the end of the show. So stick around because you're going to love that story. The soccer Rainman. It's a real story. I lived it myself. I can talk about the guy and what it did to me. Stick around for the end. You're going to love that one. But I got to tell you, this show is the pre-game. Welcome back in again. It's the pre-game. Wrexham taking on Tranmere. It's got stats. It's got news. It's got opinions. It's got highlights. And this time, not as many as the 10-goal highlights that I gave you in the last show. And you'll see why. And then we've got a game prediction after I give you the prediction of what I think this is going to be for a scoreline. So listen, stick around to the end. Get ready for the Rainman story. You're going to love it. It's a true story. And you will enjoy it. But you're going to rest assured. You'll enjoy the rest of the show. And remember one thing. Please help supply some love to the channel. Let us grow. Let us get bigger. And remember, I'm talking Wrexham till the end of time. Until they put the lid on me. And I don't want to go anytime soon. So let's get straight into this. This is what happened the last time these two met. So corner for Wrexham. Great support in behind the goal. Wrexham fans there filling the back end. Corner comes in. Hayden coasts in. Bang in the back of the net. And the keeper is furious. Where's the defending? But Aaron Hayden. Big moment for Aaron there. 1-0. And that was all she wrote, guys. I'm telling you, that was it. And a great showing by Red Dragons fans. Absolutely wonderful. So there you go. There's the highlights. Just one. Uno. Eins. One goal. That's all she wrote back then. And it was a nail-biter of a game. There's been a few nail-biter games this season, but that was a nail-biter. Before we move on, got to say, Jay Hampton Jr., listen up with your ears right now. Much love to you, my friend. Your words meant a lot to me last weekend. A hell of a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I got to say, there's a few other guys, Mr. Terrier as well. And Soldier to Soldier HQ. Also, your words meant a hell of a lot too. So thank you, guys. And also stick around for a big kudos, a big salute to Poets of the Week coming up in the stats file. But guys, I'll tell you what, some of the comments last week that you came through, even on fifascup@gmail.com, fifascup@gmail.com, my email, one more time, fifascup@gmail.com, FIFASCUP, FIFA, FIFA, SCUP, scup@gmail.com. You want to get in touch with me? That's where you go, fifascup@gmail.com. But Jay Hampton Jr., cheers, my brother. That was much appreciated. Let's get into the stats. It's 5 minutes 40. You're going to love it. There's loads of good stuff in there. I'll see you on the other side. Oh, yeah. So please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. As we go through these stats, you're going to learn a lot more about the big game coming up from the racecourse ground this weekend. Yep, Saturday, 16th. Wrexham taking on Tranmere. This is the pre-game stats. Get a load of that. And there, left and right, you can see how the teams are doing. 37 games for Wrexham, 38 games for Tranmere Rovers. Now, 12 games to glory. I tell you about this every week, right? 3 down, 9 to go. Wrexham unbeaten in 4. It's looking quite good so far. Bit of a disappointment last time out, but you know what? Stout defending by Harrogate, and it is what it is. Tranmere Rovers is the next big game up. Let's have a look at the games coming up this weekend, St. Patrick's Day weekend, and I will be sinking quite a few Guinness on St. Patrick's Day. You can guarantee your ass that one. Anyway, look at the games coming through. Remember, each week I tell you, press pause, have a little bit longer on the images than I give you. But the home teams in the top 5 this weekend, take a look. MK Dons and Wrexham are the home teams in the top 5. So maybe they make ground this weekend. It's going to be interesting, yeah? Now, on the road this weekend, on Saturday, it's Mansfield and Crewe Alexandra. Mansfield at Bradford City could be a tricky one. Crewe away MK Dons, that's going to be a tough one. And then after the weekend's through, yes, on Monday, because it's St. Patrick's Day weekend, yeah, Stockport County in the top 5. or they're on the road then. And I watched Stockport County play Salford City the other night, and I tell you what, 2-0 up Salford City. It should have been done and dusted, but unlucky. Stockport County came back and Salford hung on. So 2 points dropped for Stockport County is what I'm saying. So looking at the detailed stats from the players, etc., top assists from both teams. Obviously, James McClain, well in form for Wrexham, as is Connor Jennings. Connor Jennings figures very, very well in pretty much everything Tranmere Rovers does, as does Brad Walker as well. He's in, and obviously Regan Henry as well. Big, busy people for Tranmere. But obviously, you look to the left, James McClain, Paul Mullin, Jacob Memory, Sam Dolby, Elliot Lee, Andy Cannon, all very busybodies. So your top assisters there, them guys have been very creative, but also very busy on the defensive side of the games. Looking at the top appearances, well, it is what it is. But you got to stay relatively injury-free and out of the referee's book normally. But when you see what the cards are doing with the hot shots and the hot heads, you kind of ask yourself, how the hell is Elliot Lee and James McClain doing so well with cards like that? Just joking, obviously. But hot shots, it is what it is. Wrexham on the left there. Elliot Lee, Paul Mullin. Big up to Paul Mullin. Wonderful season for a guy that's coming back off a horrific injury. And Connor Jennings doing very well over at Tranmere Rovers, as is Robert Apter and Kieran Morris. Don't kid yourself. On their day, Tranmere can pull a surprise, as they recently did with Mansfield. Yeah, 2-1. Take that and put that in the bank. That should worry you, Wrexham fans, because if not, I wonder why not. And hot heads, like I say, James McClain for Wrexham. He's doing great stuff on the left flank for Wrexham, but man, does he ever pick up the cards. And Elliot Lee, hey, when you can keep scoring goals, you can keep picking up cards, mate. I've got no problem with that. And William Ball is the bad boy for the hotheads of Wrexham. Looking over the other side, Connor Jennings, yeah, top scorer. Well, he also picks up the cards too, as does Regan Henry, yeah, another busy boy. But Jordan Turnbull, yeah, 7 yellows, 2 reds, exactly like William Boyle. They are the bad boys in this club. Keep a looking at that one. And obviously, there you go. The last 5 home for Wrexham, the last 5 away for Tranmere, and the last 10 either side, home and away. Let's have a look at the table as she stands right now. There's a table right now. That is the live table. Stockport County went back into second over Wrexham in third. And I tell you, it's getting tighter. Just 2 points separating 7 to 10. It's getting tight. Now, something I want to show you, a different angle. Top of the points in the last 5 games. Have a good look at that. That's going to tell you exactly where the form is in all the teams. Obviously, Wrexham is 6th there. So if you thought we were doing worse than we actually are, well, think again. Crawley, the form team in the league, yeah, who are sitting in 9th, well, they got 12 points. We're sitting 3rd, and we got 8. So things are not so bad, but 10 out of 10 down at the bottom, Stockport County. And I'm going to stop the clock here, and I'm going to say, hey, each week you guys bring out some massive comments. I call you the poets of the channel. Here's an ode to all of you guys who've recently made some great comments. Take a look at your name in lights. Now, as we move along, this is the Wrexham Tranmere game coming off at the Racecourse Ground. Well, in the last game, yeah, the last game between these two teams on the road, Wrexham were on the road. Let's have a look at the stats from that game. Take a look at them stats. Now, I'm telling you now, there's some big numbers. I'm looking at some big numbers. 23 shots, 17 corners, 1 goal. And if it wasn't for Aaron Hayden getting that goal in the 56th minute, it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. And as you saw, only 1 goal for what happened in the last time out. So not much on the highlight reels this weekend. But like I say, please like and subscribe and press pause anytime you want. Back on screen. So, yeah, 540. It was a great stats reel, but it was worth it, right? Now, big up to Jeff Williams. Big up to you, my friend. Love what you write, and thanks for being there. And, guys, if you've got a point to make, down below, make a comment. Make a comment. Now's the time. I mean, come on. And I will be doing live shows as we get close towards the end of the season to close down this season and to get in to the American tour. Yeah, Chelsea Wrexham, it's going to happen again. I'll keep you informed. I'm going to be like on the same page, on the same time. And everybody in Wrexham, in Wales, Cymru, I'll keep you posted. Keep it here, because I'll be on site right where it's happening. And I'll keep you in the know because it's my time, it's my zone, and it's football for both of us. So keep it here, keep it here. Now, talking about the prediction for the game, you've heard the stats, you saw the highlights, you know what happened last time around, and all sorts of stuff with the stats as well. Well, this is what I think's coming your way this weekend. Take a look, have a butcher's. Like, subscribe. Come on, do it. Hit that button. All the notifications, please. Bitteschön. Merci. So there's a prediction. Don't want to piss anybody off, and if I did, they tell me why. But I'm only telling you what I'm seeing. Big up to Cool Fiction Books, Sydney, Australia, one of our big family members. And hey, wherever you are in the world, let me know where you are. I'd so love to know where you are at. So tell me, drop it down below. Come on. What are you waiting for? Down below. Tell me where you're at, because when we go live, I'll be talking right at where you're at. So tell me where you're at. Drop down below. Are you in India? Are you in Pakistan, Bangladesh, in Indonesia, Poland? Are you in Hungary? Are you Italia, Deutschland, Frankreich, France, España, Morocco? Hey, you could even be, oh, let's think, maybe in Britain. But let me know specifically where you are at. So, moving this along, the game talk. You've heard the prediction, the game talk. This is where it comes up. And I've got some stuff written down for you. Stick around for the Rainman story. It's coming up next. You're going to love it. Talking about Tranmere first, and I'm not going to go too much into stats and numbers, but talking flat. The first 19 games for Tranmere, they won 5, drew 3, lost 11. Yes. Yeah. Picked up 18 points from 57 in the first half of the games so far, yeah? That being 19 games, they played 38. Atrocious. And they were stuck to the bottom of the league. You're talking 22nd, 23rd place, yeah? It's terrible when you're stuck down there because you can fight your ass off and find some form and you won't climb too high. And in the next 19 games up to this point, to bring you up to dates in the season, well, you heard 5-3 and 11, yeah? 5 wins, 3-11, yeah? 3 draws, 11 losses. That was the first half. The second half of the season, different story. Oh my God, if they could have brought that form in the first half, they would be in the top 7, no doubt about it. Second half of the season, 9 wins, 2 draws, 7 losses, 29 points out of 57 for a total of 47 points on the season. Second half of the season has been really, really, really decent. And I mean, looking at the current form, the last 3 games, or the last 5 games there, 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. But the last 3 games, the 2 wins and a draw. So they're unbeaten in 3. Wrexham unbeaten in 4. Tranmere unbeaten in 3. It's really bloody interesting, eh? Where's this gonna go? Oh, well, you know what my prediction is. And it's a tight scoreline that I give you. I don't see the 4-0 or the 5-0 like was recently before the 0-0 at the Racecourse Ground. But I got to tell you, I think this is going to be a tight game. Tranmere is in better form now. The mid-season form was electric. They were going places, but it's sort of tapered off over the last 10 games. So more losses than games where they picked up points. But they picked up points recently. Like I say, 3 unbeaten. So they're doing well. Overall, for the season, you know what they're doing. The road form, complete road form. 3 wins, 3 draws, 13 losses. 3 wins, 3 draws, 13 losses. You make up your mind down below. Call the score. What are you thinking? Is it a loss for Wrexham? Is it a win for Wrexham? Is it a draw? Is Tranmere going to bring something amazing? Or is Wrexham going to just play the Wrexham game, use the wing play, get the ball in the middle, and have Paulie Mullin, Ollie Palmer, Sam Dorby, to name just a few, you know, put the ball in the back of the net? That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. Now, taking a look at Wrexham. 8 points in the last 5 games. If you thought the form was bad, it's not that bad at all. When you look around and you look in the stats reel, it told a lot of stories, didn't it? And I tell you, each week I tell you, stats tell stories. There's a lot of stories in there. And I tell you what, I hope you enjoy it. Down below, tell me what you think of the show. Like, subscribe, get into this. But Wrexham just needs to settle. Where in the last game, the 0-0 game, they kept going down the same road and tried the same thing and nothing was happening. That was one of the games as a coach from the sideline that you could say, you know, this is just going nowhere. We need to change it up. A few personnel changes came in at the end of the game, but the flow of the game really didn't change. Instead of going down the wing all game long, I think the real secret there was to channel in with someone like maybe Andy Cannon and thrust right down the middle and try to thread that ball through or over the top into the 18-yard box instead of bringing the crosses, because all day long it wasn't working. And when it's not working all day long, you got to change the flow. You got to find another area to go and execute at. And I don't think, to be honest with you, we did that. You can also say that even right till the end with Paulie Mullion and Elliot Lee firing wide and over, we were close on. It was exactly that. This game was a game where Wrexham was very close at getting that goal, but never got it over the line for various reasons. Great goalkeeping, near misses, great blocks, timely tackles, but it just wasn't Wrexham's day. Tranmere coming in, I think, is the day. And I'm looking for that result, what I gave you on the prediction. Now, tell me what your scoreline is, what you're thinking. Are Wrexham going to get automatic promotion? Is it going to be a playoff spot? Are you worried that you're going to miss out on auto promo? Or are you satisfied and happy to fall into the playoffs? Where do you stand? And again, where are you in the world if you're a Wrexham fan? I want to know where you are. You've got the time. Now take the time, drop down below, tell me where you're at in the world. Let's get now into the Rainman story when I was a young'un. You're going to love it. So let's get into the Rainman as a true story. Before we do that, got to say hello to Wrexham 1864, Red Dragon 1864, and Adrian Patrice Heard Metal 9211. Now, the Rainman story is a true story. When I was a young kid, my first ever job as a young lad at 16 was in London, England, and it was at a medical health supplies. What we used to do, we used to pack up all the medical supplies, cart them off, and didn't pack them in trucks, but we used to pack them so that they would be then put into skids, then get onto trucks and go to the hospitals. That was my first job. It was pretty sort of interesting, but it wasn't where I was going to stay forever, that's for sure. My first job. And out of all the people that worked there, I think 95% of the people that worked there were girls. So I was well in, right? So anyway, that was the first job. But as long as or at the same time as doing that job, the few guys that were there, I remember one guy called Trevor, he was a supervisor, and one guy called Richard. And Richard was a little different. Some people would sort of said he was a little slow, and I'm just trying to use a nice word. And you could say he was if you didn't know him. But if you got to know him like I did, he wasn't slow. He was a genius. He had his limitations, per se, at work, but reading, numbers, a topic that he loved, the guy was a frickin' computer. And he said to me one day, he goes, Steve, he goes, do you like football? I went, Richard, I'll live and breathe the shit. I love it more than anything. It's like, it's my religion. It's me, everything all over, 100% and 50 plus too. I said, that's me. He goes, really? I went, yeah. Now, he kind of scared me in a way because he was a big ogre, right? And I'm like, you know, small compared to this guy because he was like 6'5". He was massive. And like I say, it was a bit sort of slow. So for a lot of people, he intimidated them because he was slow and massive. And to me, it didn't happen like that. And he said, do you want to come back to my house? Now, that's when I sort of thought, this is going to be interesting. And I said to him, well, why? He goes, because I got these football books. He goes, and all stats and He goes, you might like to see it. He goes, I've also got these football tapes of European Cup finals and Mega Cup finals gone past and World Cup finals. This guy had a library like you wouldn't freaking believe. World Cup finals, European Cup finals. It was massive. It was a whole library. And I went back to his place and his mum was there. And he goes, what game do you want to watch? I went, and I'm looking at it and you just saw my look. And I'm like, oh, my life. This whole wall is full of videos of games. Now, this was VHS back in the day. Not no digital shit. This was old school. And he had all these games up there. And I'm watching. And I'm like, I'll pick that one out. And I picked out the Liverpool game, which wasn't that old. It was probably about 5 or 6 years old. But I picked out the Liverpool game against Mönchengladbach. And it was a 3-1 win for Liverpool. And I think it was in... I think it was in Rome. I might be wrong with that, but I think it was in Rome. Anyway, it was the final of the European Cup. After that, I spent many days at Rich's house, and we would learn everything out of competitions by the games, the quarterfinals, the scores, who beat who scored, what minute the goal was scored, who the referee was, the crowd, where the game played itself, what the attendance was of the game, the date of the game, and anything significant to the game. Hence, I turned into a mini Rainman because of Richard, the Rainman. And I tell you what, it was the most inspiring situation I found myself in. And at first, I was a little bit sort of scared, like anybody would have been, because the guy's massive, right? And a little bit slow. And you're like, you don't know the situation fully. But once I got to befriend him and knew him inside that massive frame and what he was about, he was just a lovely big guy. Just like you, just like me. He was just a lovely guy or a lovely girl. And it was the most amazing story. Like I say, learning all that stuff. So there's a story about the Rainman. I turned into the mini Rainman, but nowadays I'm pretty much on par with Richard, if not above now. But it's taken a lot of years to become a Rainman in football. And I tell you, I know scores and dates and stats about stuff going back all the way to the 1800s. Yes, I am a rare beast. Anyway, where this game is concerned and where this show is concerned and when you're concerned, I hope you really did enjoy this. We put a lot of effort into this to get it right just for you and get it right just for you. And I tell you, in the future, you want to watch this about 20 minutes before the game. That's where you'd be wise to watch this, because I set you up right for kickoff. And that's the point. So, from now on in, I expect a surge of views right before the game. I expect you Wrexham fans to start pushing this out to as many Wrexham fans as you can, because if not, I'm asking why. So, from the Rainman to you, Steve to you, have a great time getting into the game. Have a fantastic time after the game. I think we're in for a barn burner. I think we've got goals coming. And I do say this much. Be aware that Tranmere has got a little bit of fire in them. You can't upset the big teams like they recently did with Mansfield Town. It can happen. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Come back again. And if it's your first time, you know what to do right now. Pay for your bloody ticket. Like the video, like you should do. When you going into the ground, pay for your ticket, right? Right. Cheers.